Hello, my name is Saoirse Tracy and I am the Programme Director of the one-year full-time taught Masters in Environmental Resource Management. I am also Assistant Professor in Soil and Plant Science at the UCD School of Agriculture and Food Science. As part of the UCD Virtual Postgraduate Open Day, we have recorded some testimonials that will give you further information about the Masters Programme in Environmental Resource Management. We also recently recorded a webinar which has even more information on it, and this can be found on our YouTube channel, and there will be a link to this at the end as well. My background is in environmental science with an agricultural focus. My research interests involve understanding how plants interact with soil, especially the consequences for root growth in soil, but also how soil properties influence plant growth. The reason I'm interested in this is because growing food is so important that I want to understand the best way and most sustainable way to do this to ensure the soil is in good shape for future generations. Overall, I'm involved in all aspects of running the Masters in Environmental Resource Management. Within the programme, I typically coordinate the first and last modules that you will do. Firstly, there is a module called Human Impact on the Environment. This is a broad module that involves understanding many impacts of human activity on the environment. You will be set a series of environmental problems, and in small groups you will aim to solve these or present an action plan to the rest of the class. This module mimics the typical work environment many of our graduates now find themselves working in, for example in environmental consultancy, industry or local government bodies. I also coordinate a module called Practical Research Skills, and this is often one of the students' favourite modules as it is very hands-on. It involves 2 field trips, one to UCD's research farm at Lyons, and secondly to the beautiful Wicklow Mountains, which is a 30-minute drive from the UCD campus. The module also involves some laboratory work and demonstrations. Being able to conduct your own research project as part of this Taught Masters programme is a real strength of the programme. I'm involved in supervising research projects and in the year-long research project module, where you will learn skills in scientific writing and communication, skills that are required to complete your research project, but also highly prized by employers upon graduation. The type of research projects I would supervise can be quite broad. However, the projects I usually supervise would be in the areas of soil and plant science, and often making use of the research farm, which has several ongoing long-term field trials. I am also director of a state-of-the-art plant phenotyping platform on the UCD campus that also has plenty of plant growth facilities that the students can use as well as part of their research projects. As this is a master's programme, the academic staff always try and accommodate the area of research the student wants to specialise in. We are also lucky that we have such a wide range of staff teaching into the programme, so usually any scientific expertise can be found locally. If not, we often have co-supervisors in other schools in UCD, outside of UCD, or in local government, industry. So whatever research speciality the student wants to do, we will do our best to accommodate that and link them up with a co-supervisor if necessary. And the students often find this is a really valuable experience because they can see into a world outside academia, and they also allows them to start to build up their own network going forward for their future career plans. If you would like any further information, please contact the UCD School of Agriculture and Food Science, and I really hope to be able to be welcoming you soon onto the programme.
My name is Dr. Thomas Cummins, and I teach into the MERM programme in the modules Human Impact on the Environment, Soil, Plant and Water Resources, which includes a 3-day trip to the Burren, County Clare, and Practical Research Skills. So my main input is in the Research Project module, the year-long module, including a literature review, presentation of a research proposal by seminar or poster, and facilitating the research project, the main research work, which of course is done with a supervisor for each project. So look forward to meet you on the MERM programme.
So hello, my name is Dara Stanley and I'm a lecturer in applied entomology in the School of Agriculture and Food Science at UCD. So research in my lab focuses on the ecology and conservation of insects and the ecosystem services they provide to agriculture and to the wider environment. So we largely use pollinators and their interactions with plants as a model system to work with, and we have a number of ongoing research projects both in Ireland and in Africa. For example, we're looking at the ecology, conservation and management of rare pollinators. We're also looking at the contributions of different pollinator groups to crop production in Ireland. And we're also looking at some of the current threats to pollinators and pollination services in Ireland, things such as climate change and pesticide use, and how we can mitigate against these threats and sustainably manage these services going forwards. So my main contribution to the MERM programme is around the supervision of both literature reviews and research projects. And over the last number of years, there's been a variety of projects coming through my lab, things looking at, for example, the conservation and management of rare insects in Ireland, looking at pesticide use and implications for pollinators, and even topics looking at things such as rewilding or how we perceive biodiversity here in Ireland and implications for biodiversity conservation. So I think our Masters in Environmental Resource Management is a fantastic master's programme. We have huge issues in the world today around things such as climate change and biodiversity loss, and the sustainable management of our natural resources is going to be key to finding solutions to these problems. So graduates from this programme could have a variety of different careers, things such as in areas such as policy, consultancy, management of natural resources or agriculture. So I'd strongly encourage you to consider our Masters in Environmental Resource Management, and if you do, I would look forward to working with you in the future.
Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Helen Sheridan and I'm a lecturer in Agricultural Ecology and Policy with the School of Agriculture and Food Science in University College Dublin. I'm passionate about working with agricultural communities and supporting agricultural communities to better understand the interactions between their farming systems and the wider landscape, and biodiversity in particular. My research focuses on farmland habitats and the interactions between farmland management and the quality of those habitats. In addition, I work on developing our knowledge of multi-species grasslands as an alternative grassland type to the high input ryegrass monocultures which have dominated grassland science for the last 60 years. I also work on the design, implementation and monitoring of agri-environment schemes to try and ensure that EU taxpayers get value for money from these schemes. If you decide to undertake the Masters in Environmental Resource Management in University College Dublin, I'll meet you when I teach the module Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services. So I'm really looking forward to meeting you all then.
Hi, my name's Paul Murphy and I'm a soil scientist involved in the Masters in Environmental Resource Management at UCD. My research interests are in particularly in nutrient cycling in the soil plant system. So how, for example, nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus are cycled between the soil and plant, and in particular how they are maybe lost from that system to water, for example, or to the atmosphere. So for example, in a crop of spring barley such as this here, how nitrogen and phosphorus might be cycled between the soil and the plant, and how they may be lost by various different pathways to the stream below at the bottom of the field, for example, or into the atmosphere as greenhouse gases, for example. And in particular, how we manage those nutrients as fertilizers, for example, to try to minimize those environmental impacts and improve the sustainability of agriculture overall. I contribute to a number of modules. I coordinate the module in soil, plant and water resources, which is a very important module in the second semester of the Masters in Environmental Resource Management. As part of that, I lead or am involved with a number of fieldwork components, which is very important to our learning in this programme. So for example, we go on a field trip to the Agricultural Catchments Programme, which is looks at nutrient cycling and losses within a catchment context in Ireland, down in Wexford, and I also take part in the field trip to the Burren in County Clare. And so both of these field trips are actually focused on programmes which work directly with farmers to try to improve the sustainability of agriculture. I also coordinate the module in Geographic Information Systems, so I'm interested, one of my research interests is in the application of GIS to try to improve sustainability of agriculture and other land uses, including forestry, and I coordinate that module. And I also contribute to the module on human impact on the environment. Maybe what are some of the real strengths of the MERM programme? I was a director of the MERM programme myself until recently. So I would say one of the real strengths of it is the focus on actual management practices and solutions to environmental problems and sustainability in agriculture and other land uses. So a real practical focus that we try to develop in the students, that understanding on how to actually improve sustainability. Another strength I would say is the students who are involved. So we have typically a real diverse student body, and that really adds to the learning experience as people bring their different backgrounds and their different strengths into the classroom and into discussions, for example. And I guess I would say that the Masters in Environmental Resource Management in UCD is very well established. It's been running for a long number of years. It has a good reputation, and that is a real strength of a programme in this area. So we look forward, and the rest of the staff look forward to welcoming you at UCD. We hope you consider this Masters programme, and we look forward potentially to welcoming you to UCD in the near future.
Hi, my name is Magdelena Neto. I'm mostly interested in carbon and nitrogen cycling in cropland and grassland agroecosystems. In the recent years, I have been mostly working on modeling these biogeochemical cycles with process-based ecosystem data model, with the main focus on assessment of the biophysical potential of alternative and conventional management practices to increase yield, increase soil organic carbon, and reduce soil greenhouse gas emissions at the various spatial scales. Due to my interest in biogeochemical modeling, I have been also lecturing a modeling class within the program.
Hello everybody, my name is Olaf Schmidt. I'm Head of Subject and Professor in Agri-Environmental Sciences. On the Masters in Environmental Resource Management, I mostly teach soil ecology and sustainable use of soils. I also teach stable isotope techniques, research methods, pest control, and I also supervise thesis projects. So I hope you'll be interested and you would like to find out more. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Jamie Nolan and I'm a recent graduate of the Environmental Resource Management programme. What I really enjoyed about the programme was the wide range of modules that we could choose from. I chose modules such as environmental law and policy, along with environmental assessment. So before going into these modules, I didn't really have much of a background in either of these subject areas, but by the end of it, I really had a good grasp of both subject areas and really enjoyed doing the modules. Other aspects that I really enjoyed about the Masters was the fact that the group was quite small. So by the end of the year, we really got to know each other really well and became friends for, hopefully, for life. Other aspects that I found really useful and good was going to the Burren. Towards the end of the year, we went for 3 or 4 days where we learned a lot about the Burren, but also had a bit of crack with the other master's students along with some of the lecturers that came along. So I really thought that was a nice way to kind of end the year. For the research masters, or the research that I carried out, I looked at spatial variability of soil organic matter at kind of field level. So I thought this is a really useful thesis to do because I got to gain experience in areas such as I got to do field work of sampling the actual soil itself. Then I got to do lab work where I weighed out the soil, dried the soil, sieved the soil, put the soil in the furnaces, and just got to gain a lot of experience in the lab. And then towards the very end, we used ArcGIS desktop on the computers to map our results and show maps of where we took the soil samples, just to show how much organic matter was in each of the fields. So I thought that was really useful. So at the moment I'm working in the Central Statistics Office in the Sustainable Development Goals Department. And I think that doing the Masters has really helped my current job, as I do a lot of mapping. What I do now at the moment is looking at joining data to boundaries, so could be joining how far people live from different services within a county. And the fact that I had a background in GIS really helped me for the current position that I'm in. So I think that overall the Masters is a really good Masters to do. It makes you very employable by the end of the year, and hopefully it'll make it a lot easier to find the job that hopefully you want to do.